Ladies and gentlemen, and now we're going to start our program. Please come out, Hofmarschall Richard Lund.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me be the first to welcome you to the 52nd season of the Anaheim Karneval. It is a long history of success. We love it. There was a lady who was walking into a bridal store, and I ran into her on the way in, and I was listening to her. And she said to the clerk, "I'm looking for a beautiful wedding dress for my 4th wedding." And the clerk said, "That's great. What color would you like?" She said, "I'd like a white dress with a beautiful, long, flowing white veil." And the clerk said, "But isn't that more appropriate for a first-time bride?" She said, "Excuse me, but in all of my experience with marriage, I am still as innocent as a first-time bride." I said, "Well, how can that be?" She said, "Well, my first husband, God bless his soul, he got so excited, he died of a heart attack as we were checking into the honeymoon suite. My second husband and I had such a terrible argument after we were married in the limousine that we immediately had our marriage annulled." "And what about your third husband?" "Oh, he was a Democrat. All he did for 4 years was sit on the side of the bed, telling me how great it was going to be, and nothing ever happened." So, there was an old man, he was on his deathbed, and poor soul, he was laying there, and his friend comes up to him and says, "Is there anything I can do? Is there anything you'd like to tell me?" And he looked up, he said, "I've been a staunch Democrat. All my life I've been a staunch Democrat. But I'm going to change to be a Republican." And he said, and the man said, "Well, how could you do that? We've been through this all this time. How could you possibly become a Republican?" He said, "Well, I'd rather have it be one of them that dies than one of us." So I know it's been a pretty contentious last 6 months, 8 months, year. It's incredible. This old man was laying on the side of the road, and a young man came up to him and said, "Please tell me, how did you live your life? How did you make your money?" And the man said, "Well, it's like this, young man. It was 1932. It was in the Deep Depression. And I was down to my last nickel. I bought an apple. And I spent all day long shining that apple." And he said, "At the end of the day, I sold that apple for a dime. And the next morning, I took that dime and I bought 2 apples. And I shined those apples all day long. And at the end of the day, I sold those apples for 20 cents. And I did that for over a month. And at the end of the month, I had amassed an incredible wealth of $1.37. And the kid looks down and says, "Well, okay. Well," and then my mother-in-law, my father-in-law passed away and left us $5 million. And so now, without further ado, I would like to introduce the Anaheim Gesellschaft Alpha Rod.